Yeah, we just saw 200 years in the game before. Very, very strong performance. Trying to get it to get it together with all that, despite any misgivings that they did have. But to start off this draft, we do see Team Ionia opting right into the Lucian, right into the Cause expands, and with the response of a Renekton by 200 years.
Definitely, I mean, the Lucian ban, always nice, you know, Cosmic, some of these pop-off junglers that Gen Sniper has. He's been looking very good on these assassins, you know, so making sure that he at least can't have his hand at one of those. You know, the Renekton, always a very strong champion, along with the Thresh, you know, they're sort of, you know, like I said, Thresh, the jack of all trades, and Renekton, a very strong laner, so trying to make sure that Rindo Kobayashi can't get some crazy stuff done in lane.
And it's like we always say, like the Thresh is always a strong pick, and depending on whose hand it's in, can be a great pick. But to round out this first round of bans, we do see a Rengar coming out from Team Ionia, wanting to take away all of the assassin junglers away.
Exactly, you know. But the big problem is, while you can take away the Rengar and the Kazakhs, there's still quite a few available. So even though Gen Sniper's gonna have his pool cut down a little bit, it'll be interesting to see who he's gonna be, who he'll go after this time.
And if it's even another assassin jungler that we would see, we see the Teemo hover to start the first pick. I'm down for it. Pantheon, very strong support, very strong champion in general. And Samira, equally strong champion, wants to go in all the time. Both of these champions are going to want to... I just feel like that the Pantheon's going to be support, and we're going to see a lot of action down there, followed by another really strong pick on Hecarim.
Ooh, Hecarim, Samira, and Pantheon. So we're seeing three very strong champions.
Very aggressive early games.
Alright. They're just teasing us with these Teemo hovers. Alright.
I want to see the Teemo. Honestly, Teemo wouldn't even be bad to, like, against like Samira Hecarim right there, because that like completely negates Hecarim's initial burst.
Definitely, it'd be a banger pick.
As well as Samira too. Like loses quite a bit of burst, seeing as how her Q, I believe, is counted as a basic attack. So that's a huge chunk of damage that she's going to be missing there too. Which I don't think it matters as much, but even so, we see a Kane picked up.
Even though her main source of damage is that Inferno trigger, it will negate some of her power. It'll negate some of her power, I suppose, to stack up that S rank. But we're paying way too much attention on the non-existent pick of the Teemo here, and we should instead be focusing on the picks on the champions that have been picked. This Talia and the Kane.
So Talia and Kane both having a lot of map pressure, being able to quickly get across the map no matter where they are with the shadow form, especially if Jake decides to turn into the shadow form Kane to just kind of run rampant through so far what are all squishy champions.
Definitely, and you know, we are seeing, I mean, Hecarim, while he is able to pick up like that Death Stance and become kind of tanky later on, he does end up being rather easy to kill. So this, if you do end up seeing a Shadow Assassin picked up, we'll have to see if Jake is able to get some work done on these other really squishy champions. And this Talia pick is really interesting because I assume that it'll likely be a mid lane Talia, or maybe you know, we have been seeing a bit of Talia Bob presence. Pantheon Talia was a thing for a while, so they might be bringing it back.
I wouldn't be surprised by that, which is probably what 200 Years is thinking, because they still banned Diana, another mid laner.
Definitely, I mean, you see, there's so much value in Pantheon Talia, right? Because the point and clicks you see that Pantheon does have with Shield Bolt, you immediately set up for the Talia W, and like, if you don't have much magic resist, or if you don't have any magic resist, you're gonna get blown up.
And it's really hard to itemize against a lane like Talia Pantheon, because it's like you have Pantheon who brings a lot of AD damage down in the bot lane, and then you have Talia who brings a lot of AP damage, so it's very difficult to itemize against that unless you're rushing like a Stone Plate or something, which isn't like ideal by any means.
And otherwise, the picks, Rise, always a treat to see. You know, we don't see I haven't seen him very often, not the most popular of champions, but definitely a strong one.
Morgana, which we do see picked up by 200 years, which easily enables any of the champions on her team with the Black Shield, making sure that neither Pantheon nor Talia can have a lot, and again another Teemo hover.
I have given up hope, but yeah, this Morgana is going to be so huge because, I mean, yeah, we were paying attention to all the CC to this point in Click CC that the Pantheon does have to the now the Kiana when she does pick up that water, she'll be. So if Genji does throw on that Black Shield onto Gen Sniper, Gen Sniper can dive in there without any worries of getting stopped.
Again, whether it's Gen Sniper or like anybody else, because you can't count out the Samira, Monkey's Samira, or you can't count out Tuesday's Rise either. I don't know why my brain is so slow right now, but
Yeah.
it's like I'm in Windows mode updating. Hello, I'm gone.
All right, now we'll see Shen being hovered. That would be picked up for Zerth, and
Which hopefully is picked.
Hmm.
Because looking at that, you are thinking maybe because that's a Shen top lane against a Yasuo, meaning that there's plenty of wave clear to go around in top. Once Zarth picks up a Tiamat, picks up a Bammy Cinder, and possibly also a Thornmail against this mostly AD comp. AD comp that also is a bunch of auto attack based champions. So it's like if Talia is the only AP damage on the team, it might be very, very difficult for Team Ionia to really itemize against a lot of armor.
I think it'll definitely be very important to see if because we're seeing we have the Rise Ultimate, the Stand United. There's definitely a lot of pressure that Team 200 Years can put onto this bot lane if they do choose to. And if they are able to set Delve behind, right, and make this only magic, make the basically only threat of magic damage, there might be some on Jake Delve choose to go Shadow Assassin. But if we do see Delve being set far behind, this Shen can just become basically unkillable. He stacks the arm, he can stack up that armor and basically just make sure that all of these super AD heavy champions aren't able to touch him.
Because it's like I can't see there being a problem with having access to Talia when you have Hecarim and the Shen, who can very easily combo their ultimates together to really chain CC Delve's Talia down. So I'm interested to see how the team fights play out, because that's always the most fun part for me personally to watch.
Definitely. I mean, if we can see like you said, the stand United being channeled, the Black Shield being thrown out, this Hecarim can basically just lay waste to just destroy these team fights when he does throw down that onslaught of shadows and really become unstoppable.
But like even looking like at the lanes themselves, like Rise can I'm not as familiar with the Rise and Kiana matchup, but as far as the Shen Yasuo matchup, that's a relatively safe lane for Shen. But bot lane definitely very, very volatile down there. Samira has a absurd amount of damage, and Morgana can really keep her safe down there against Talia's damage and the CC from Pantheon. So it's like a perfect pick there.
We'll definitely be seeing quite a bit of fighting here.
Because both teams want to fight.
Definitely.
Both teams want to fight.
The Morgana pick is also really good from Genji here because it's able to Talia Pantheon, what do they want to do? A lot of Talia's damage, basically all of her damage comes from her ability to land that seismic shove, right? So if Morgana is able to throw down that Black Shield and make it even harder for Talia to get that seismic shove down, you just negate so much of her damage, right? Because if you combine it with seismic shove and that unraveled earth, you do so much damage. But if you aren't able to, you're basically just stuck. You're basically just throwing rocks, right? Which, yeah, they do a lot of damage, but you're not going to be able to compare to the damage that the Samir is going to do.
Especially not with the shield negating a good chunk of that damage.
Indeed. Yeah.
But as the spectator delay counts down, let's see in the chat, let's see who you want to win this game, who you believe are going to win this game. Is it going to be Team Ionia, or is it going to be Team 200 Years? Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean, if we do see Ionia pulling out some miracle and winning this game, it'll be definitely a hard thing for them to do. But I don't see it being impossible. You know, they do have quite a lot of. They will be able to do this. They might be able to. It's going to take quite a bit of skill, but you know, Ionia might be able to pull it off.
Mm-hmm. I need to know. I need to see the champs. I need to see this loading screen. I want to know if there are any weird runes, because there are so many runes that you could be taking. But it looks pretty standard across the board, with the exception of the Fleet Footwork Yasuo. But everything else seems to be about normal.
Definitely, one of the important runes I think to check out is going to be what Jake does end up taking, and we do seem to conquer. So, so we'll be choosing to go for that Blue Cane today. He does. So yeah, we'll see Rust coming out today.
Most likely.
Unfortunately, even less magic damage threat on the side of Ionia. So Shen's gonna have a great time.
You can see a Blue Cane on Conqueror. Like, I've done it before, and I've seen it a couple times before myself. Yeah. I don't know if it's been played here in this series, but it's definitely something that gets played relatively often, because Conqueror helps Kane get through his early game.
Definitely.
And through his early fights.
But if I remember correctly, very limited Kane knowledge from me, you know. I definitely do not play Kane a lot. But I usually see Blue Canes going Dark Harvest, right? Because it's so valuable to add that extra big burst into your already super bursty kit, right? With that assassin value. So while I can see Conqueror sort of working on this Kane, I just don't see a world where you would rather take the Conqueror if you are taking Blue Cane.
Yeah. And you're right, but there's not a whole lot coming out. It seems like a pretty standard start here. Saw a really quick 5-point, and seems as though Kobayashi is going to be late to lane, so the lane prio is going to be given to Zarth early.
And there's even more lane priority once you consider that Zarth does have the ignite. He has opted to take that, which it isn't like a terrible choice, right? Because Shen does have quite a bit of early power. You know, if you are able to land your taunt, get those grass attacks onto them, use your spells right, and use that rune right, you're definitely going to be able to fight against this Yasuo, and most likely hold your own. We do see level 2 picked up quickly on the side of Ionia, so they are able to sort of use that zone off Monkey Dip and Denji from a bit of this wave.
Sniper coming in, gank coming in on the top lane. How does this work out for them? Kobayashi gets knocked back, opting not to flash into it, and is going to be taken down. No flash used at all from Kobayashi. First blood going right over to Gen Sniper.
I mean, yeah, great play from him. Does pop that ghost, gets that extra bit of AD, and just takes down Kobayashi. And that's what we were talking about, right? In bot lane, we see that Black Shield used very well from Denji, immediately stopping the stun from the shield ball and preventing all of the damage that Delve is going to be doing with that. Is going to be doing.
Fine landing down in the bot lane. Was anything going to come out of it? Nope, just some quick trading.
It's a bit of a CC extension that Samira is so good at doing. And apart from that, we're seeing some pretty big some some fighting going down in bot lane.
And very quickly, both of those kills go directly over to Ionia.
And I mean, that's what Talia Pantheon does, right? The Black Shield isn't available on the side of Denji, so they immediately get that seismic shove after the shield vault and just do so much damage.
And I didn't think that they were gonna go for anything there, considering how close to the tower it was. But they just did it anyway, knowing that the Black Shield was off cooldown.
Yeah, they go for it, you know, and that's just a very aggressive lane, playing aggressively and doing what they do. Otherwise, he's very early tabbies from Zerk. A really good choice here. You know, he's definitely wanting to make sure that Kobayashi does not have a fun time in this lane, and making sure to stay as far ahead as he can after setting him far behind.
Oh yeah, Kobayashi also a champion whose autos and Qs are all basic attacks essentially, and that's the priority of his damage. So if you're essentially just reducing 12% of that damage, that's huge.
Definitely. And especially on someone like Shen, who can do quite a bit of damage early level, as we're seeing some fighting in the top side.
Yep, almost maybe. Shadow Dash is up in 7 seconds, so he might not get it. Flashes over him. Ignite dropped, and that's another kill going over. 200 years.
Solo kill for Zerk. Using that Ignite, showing us all the damage that Shen can have. You know, it's always really deceptive, right? You will never expect Shen to be doing that much damage, but then he gets those correct. Then he starts using that grasp and just deletes you.
Yeah, those extra procs off the Q if he's able to land it. Because even like right now, where it is at level 3 or rank 3 of the Q, it's 16. It's like it's 3% of your max health.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like you're just taking 10% for 3 autos on top of the auto attack itself, so it's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Jet Sniper up here underneath the tower, able to take down FP Jake, but Ghost popped, able to charge down on the Kobayashi, Shadow Dash, and Zarth is down once again. I mean, Kobayashi's down once again.
Stand United is channeled there and manages to keep Gen Sniper alive. And yeah, that's just a very strong place from the top side of Team 200 Years. Otherwise, nothing out of the ordinary here. We do see FBJ pick up that red smite and starting to work towards his warrior enchant. While Gen Sniper, however, what we are seeing here is that he does pick up that skirmisher saber and those 2 longswords, so he is going to be working towards that warrior enchant, which is something that you don't see Hecarim do very often, because what you usually see is because Hecarim's getting that Triforce is such a huge spike for him. What you often see is Hecarim's jungle Hecarims at least only pick up that first part of the jungle item, and then just immediately after that go to Triforce. And some fighting
once again.
Just another kill.
Seems as though Gen Sniper really wants to set up this tent up here and like push Kobayashi down, make sure that he's never into the game.
Definitely. I mean, Kobayashi's already so far behind, right? Already down almost 20, down more than 20 CS here. Down a full 2 levels almost. And yeah, that's just they're just taking advantage of the fact that you also pick up that level 6 and some fighting in the mid lane. Or of the mid lanes. But yeah, while I do like this warrior pickup for the Hecarim, you do I assume wanting to have as much power in this lane as much power as you can for these early fights. I just would have rather seen something like the just going straight into the Triforce Red, because that's such a huge spike for Hecarim that you want to get that as soon as you can. And otherwise, we do see Tuesday pick up Wow.
Wow, and another fight breaking out.
Yeah.
And while Gen Sniper also trying to dive down in the mid lane, but Monkey Diff able to get the Inferno trigger off. Will probably pick up both of these kills here. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, that's the thing about this bot lane, right? Because even though those some fighting in top side, it will just be Kobayashi being forced to flash. But I mean, that's the thing about this on level 6, right? Even though this Talia Pantheon lane is so dominant in these are levels, once you hit 6, right, that level 6 power spike of yours is not as big as the one that Team 200 Years will have, right? You know, the Soul Shackles and the Inferno Trigger are both such huge spikes, while only picking up the Grand Starfall and the Weaver's Wall, while both of them are great spikes for roaming and impacting other sides of the map. They just don't compare to that Inferno Trigger.
Having roaming ultimates and not really having a level 6 power spike essentially is huge to against two champions who do have huge level 6 power spikes.
Exactly, it's sort of what you see with Rise, right? You know, when he does pick up that Realm Warp, it is great for him to impact the lanes. Fighting the river here.
Yep, the Weaver's Wall dropped and the Black Shield goes down, which will spell the end of Denji. But the fight is not over yet. Inferno Trigger goes off, and it is more than enough to get the triple kill.
Just dashing all around.
Yep.
And the top lane.
Monkey Diff absolutely dancing through these team fights right now.
Kobayashi will pick up that kill in top lane, but it's not. It's just it's barely just. I mean, yeah, you count that as table scraps compared to the triple kill that we do see Monkey Diff picking up along with Team 200 Years grabbing that dragon.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You really can't go turn anybody down here. That's like a lot of great play looking out from 200 Years, and it's gonna take a lot for Ionia to get back in this. But once they start team fighting, I think it'll be like team fighting, like smaller team fights, like small skirmishes rather, since that's the term I'm looking for. When Jake's Cane is finally transformed, I think that'll be when things start turning, because they don't want to fight in open areas. It doesn't even matter, because now Gen Sniper, just the onslaught of shadows into the backline, and just Monkey Diff able to once again just go in and hit a nice Inferno Trigger.
That huge taunt from Zerth there gets all three gets both of the members of the bot lane and FB Jake there. Just manages to grab all of them. And I mean, yeah, we want to see Ionia playing around this terrain, right? You want to use that Kiana ultimate, that Supreme Display of Talent, along with that Weaver's Wall. That is, I believe, I forget the interaction, but I believe that Supreme Display of Talent can use the Kiana Wall, can use the Talia Wall, so that'll definitely be something to keep our eyes on. But yeah, we need to see Team Ionia using this and Weaver's Wall and Supreme Protects.
Top lane once again. We got Zarth getting ganked up here by Pizza's Pantheon, but nothing comes out of it because Denji is also up here and provides the Black Shield to make sure that he gets out of there alright, even though I thought he was already fine. Some more, the Umbral Trespass used, and that's going to be Gen Sniper going down, but it seems FP Jake is probably going to be going down as well if Chu Z decides to stick with it, which he does. Supreme Display of Talent goes down, and that's going to end it with the last breath. That's going to be a 2-for-1.
Definitely,
Ionia.
Great use of those three ultimates, right? The Umbral Trespass bought so much time there, and that last breath combined with the Supreme Display of Talent just did so much. Was doing so much damage.
And a pause coming out.
The pause does come through, but I just want to quickly that to both of those supports plays here in this topside fight, right? We did see both Denji and Coach Pizza both head topside, and both make their presence known. You know, making sure to aid in this topside fight, because it is definitely difficult fight for Kobayashi to win. So any help that he can get from Pizza, definitely help him
Yeah,
out.
and essentially it was a 4v4 there, like an extended 4v4. But they never. But Team 200 Years never had all 4 members in the fight at once. Like they swapped out and had, I think, at most 3. But with Zarth barely well, not barely escaping, but Zarth, I guess, not on the same page, not wanting to continue the fight with no cooldowns. But Gen Sniper getting pretty much popped off by Fonzo, who roamed up from mid lane before Choosy Day was able to get up there.
Definitely. And while the Onslaught of Shadows was available for Gen Sniper, the Stand United was not. So there was just an ultimate advantage there on the side of Team Ionia, and they were able to use that to fight, even though they were at a pretty sizable gold disadvantage, and they still are almost down more than 3k here. So it'll be, they want to be looking for fights like those, you know, using the pressure from getting this Shen roaming, as we're seeing some fighting in the top side as well.
Yeah, Kobayashi just cannot fight back against Zarth's Shen right now.
Definitely, and especially with the tabbies and the chain vest picked up, he's just
going for it underneath the tower, able to just shadow dash underneath the tower with the ignite and just kill him. He's like, what are tower shots? But while that was happening, Gen Sniper did go down, getting caught out in the river by 4 members of Team Ionia.
Yeah, we see Delve, Coach Pizza, and Fonzo just heading to the jungle, catching Gen Sniper off guard, and just taking him out before he can. Just making sure that, hey, this jungle, it may be yours, but we're going to be invading it.
And despite everything, it's about a 3,000 gold difference. But until Monkey Diff starts heading back into these fights, I think that 200 Years is going to struggle, because that's really the carry here.
Definitely. I mean, even though Hecarim is very far ahead, I mean, he's already stunted. Like, look at this. You know, he's stunted his Triforce so very much by picking up his. Oh, I'll continue that after this fighting in the mid lane. Fonzo will just be cleaned up. But anyway, he stunted this Triforce so much by getting his Executioner's Calling and this Warrior Enchant that he's not gonna have this Triforce till at least probably like 20 minutes as fighting in the top side here.
But Kobayashi really can't seem to fight back against Gen Sniper either. The last breath landed it, and the tornado landed at everything, but just was nothing going on. But mid lane, we do see Jake finally has his transformation coming in, so hopefully things start going much better for them now that he's got access to everything.
Yeah, finally, now that he does have his form, that's a huge spike for Kane. Especially now that he does have Ross, he's going to survive these fights much more. W will have the knockup now.
Monkey Diff in a bit of a predicament there. Might be able to pull something off if they're able to get the Chrono Trigger off, or Inferno Trigger, but they were not.
The Stand United panel just a bit too late, and unfortunately, Zerf isn't able to show up to the fight, so while the shield is given, he isn't able to show up and get the taunt. And that would have been
barely missing.
Yeah.
Flashing onto Delve there to get it. But Ionia grabs the dragon. Rift Herald is started by 200 Years though, so they might be able to make a big play here. Kobayashi just standing there underneath the tower, unable to really go anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think
back on the map too.
We might be seeing a dive. Alright now. Gen Sniper will back off, so no diving going on here, even though the wave is pretty set up for one, you could say. But anyway, yeah, we'll see people resetting here. But yeah, that pick onto Monkey Diff was very was huge. I feel the gold lead is still pretty big. It's around 4.5k here. But yeah, that pick was very huge because it did manage to shut down. I don't know if I checked who got it, but that is such a huge spike in gold. I think it was almost
mid lane Monkey Diff seems to be getting caught out again. It hit by every piece of CC that Jake and Delve have to offer. Will just spell the quick death for Monkey Diff.
And meanwhile, Fonzo is getting caught out in the river by the Sacrum. And even though he doesn't have that Trinity Force complete, he's still doing so much damage, even with just that Sheen.
Yeah, and before you were talking about stunting the Triforce with the Executioners, but I think it was a necessary pickup, especially if you want to continue being able to deal with Jake's Kane, who has gone Ross and now has all that healing on him.
Almost definitely. What I was saying is that even though it was stunning that Triforce, I think that it was a great pickup, you know, especially for the healing that's going to be going down in these between these junglers. You know, Ross does have so much healing. So it's going to be very nice to have that extra healing eventually. As in the top side, taunt's going to land.
It's preventative maintenance, if you ask me.
Definitely. But while I do sort of disagree with finishing up that warrior enchant so soon, he's definitely making.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's
I'm sorry, you go.
No, sorry, no, I'm saying that while I don't think that it was definitely does manage to pick up that Trinity Force very quickly with all those kills, and that's going to be a huge spike, so we'll have to see what he can do. And meanwhile, in the mid lane,
Denji once again getting caught out with 4 people. Like Ionia is roaming around like as 4 and is really trying to claw back into this game, trying to stick together and find these picks together as 4, since they cannot burst them down individually.
Definitely, I mean, Ionia is really using the pressure that they have. Their Pantheon is roaming around, putting a lot of pressure onto these lanes without even needing to use the Grand Starfall. He's just showing up, getting the taunts, they're chaining all that CC and grabbing these kills. And we're seeing Team 200 Years Bob getting caught out quite a bit. On the subject of getting caught out, Bonzo just gets deleted here. And yeah, that's the spike that we're talking about. Trinity Force on Hecarim. Quite the big pickup.
Very quick damage fight skirmish happening down here in the mid lane. Just Samira, Monkey Diff going in with the Black Shield and the Zart's ultimate, just unable to do nearly enough damage, and now they're just running through Jake's jungle, found him, and he's gonna go down as well to Monkey Diff.
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing great plays all around. You know, this Jake getting a little bit too getting too comfortable with jungle and just gets collapsed on.
Instantly popping Kobayashi underneath the tower. Bind doesn't land, but Monkey Diff was also able to instantly pop Franzo. So they were able to get a full value, a full lane worth out of that Rift Herald.
Well, I mean, yeah, they pop it right after that tier 1 goes down, so it doesn't lose any HP. Charging into a tower that basically has nothing left, and then they get all 3, get it to charge onto the tier 2 and the inhibitor turret, and get that inhibitor. Meanwhile,
onto the Shen, on Zart's Shen, means he's not going to get stunned by Pantheon, and he's just still tanking the tower, just can eat so many tower shots. Another Black Shield on to make sure. Kobayashi trying to choose E down here on the bottom side, while everyone on the top side seems to be backing away. But nothing seems to be coming out of that. Gen Sniper playing with fire down here might go down. Yep, will go down, and so will choose Z. Wait, maybe not. Black Shield is on. Nope. Yep, definitely going down there.
Just getting caught out, and the Grand Starfall is going to be here as well. And Coach Pizza grab it with Spear.
Taking the Spear to the back.
And just going through a bit of PM there.
But I don't see why when they're down so much, but hey, to each their own.
I mean, whatever works for you, right? Whatever floats your boat.
Immediately instant karma walking into River like that, where Monkey Diff is just sitting there and just pops him.
Yeah, Monkey Diff gets in there. Stops it. The Weaver's Wall is being. They'll won't jump into the pit, and we'll just put some pressure.
Although they were able to steal it since Gen Sniper was not there, but it does spell 3 or 2 more kills going over to Monkey Diff, who's able to just clean up all of these fights.
And I mean, while they do get the dragon right, I mean that's another kills onto onto Monkey Dip, who's just so insanely strong right now. But even so, I would say that while that isn't while I wouldn't call that like a positive trade in any. Oh well, now I'm gonna ignore that case because they're gonna turn to the dragon or to the Baron. Sorry. I was gonna say that's a kind of good trade since you do manage to set yourself up for a decent, at least prevent some soul stacking. But since they do grab the Baron, my points kind of mute.
And it's just at this point, it's like it's gonna be very difficult now that they've taken the Baron and really gone on their way to do everything that's possible to do.
And you see the Frozen Heart on Razor, definitely a very interesting pickup. It's something that you can definitely, as a mid lane, see target.
And it's just really aggressive. The onslaught of shadows going on. And tell you, with the Tiamat proc, very easily. And look, Jake making the big mistake of running in onto the Hecarim, who just ran to the back with all the move speed that he had.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the Umbral Trespass, right? You're gonna be inside them, right? And you're just gonna have to follow them wherever they choose to go. And I mean, while Gen Sniper does end up dying, he lasts for so long there. He just dives into all three of those members, and there's just so much safety with that stand united with the Black Shield. And meanwhile, fighting going down, and that's probably gonna be game.
Oh yeah, Inferno Trigger going off might actually kill Talia in the fountain. Will not trade the life for it, but that's okay.
Just barely manages to get away, and is taken down, but still, it will just be Team Ionia being taken down.
Yep. Very decisive win, even though it looked a little shaky at times because the way that Team Ionia was doing their rotations and doing their movements, were able to grab quite a few picks, but just weren't able to really capitalize on any of them.
Definitely, I mean, we saw Team Ionia definitely doing better than they had before. They kept it, even though they did fall behind early, they were able to set up for some picks. They did win a couple of fights, for example, that top river fight. And in the end, while they did end up losing this game, it was a lot closer than I expected,
And overall, I thought it was still a very good way to really end to push things for the time that it is for Team 200 years, not really showing what we've seen from them in the game before this one, but really pulling it back out and showing them once again why they should be, or why they feel that they should be, the top team.
Yeah, they're just letting us know that they're a really great team. They're a great team, and while they did end up losing that last game, they're definitely not to be underestimated going into the knockout stage.
Oh, not at all. Not at all, not at all, not at all. But we do have one more game for tonight, and we don't want to push that off for too long because that will be going off in about another 15-20ish minutes. I don't know, have the watch on me, but
yeah, and we'll be seeing Monkey Flip taking on Ionia. We'll be able to, Ionia can have one last draw, and perhaps win a game where the Monkey Flip will show us that whatever Team 200 Years can do, they can also do.
Yep, and that's one you don't want to miss.
Indeed. So be sure to check back in with us in a few more minutes.